Sally, you've talked recently with football coaches and athletic directors about the start of football season. What sort of feedback are you getting, and has the scheduled start date officially been moved back?
We had a football coaches meeting last week, and we wanted to gather some input from the coaches. Overwhelmingly, the coaches just want to try to play football this year, and that's the goal. The goal is to play all sports in the 2021 school year. February 1st, that's what we have on the calendar. We're getting close, and we have not heard anything from the governor's office. So we are going to go to the board of directors on Wednesday. We're going to have an emergency meeting and probably push that date back to mid-February to give those football coaches and players a chance to get in shape and to get ready for the season.
So you said you are making the proposal to push it back. Can it be moved anymore?
We're almost at the end. We're trying so hard to make sure we have all sports, and to overlap all of them is really tough. So can it be pushed back a little bit more? The more we push it back, the shorter the season is. So we're hopeful that maybe mid-February will work, but right now, we're talking about half the season. We're talking about maybe 5-6 games. But again, the goal is to get those kids back on the football field, and let's just have, even if it's a small season, let's have something meaningful for them.
You kind of alluded to it. Why can't you move sports or seasons with one being played at the same time as others?
I think a lot of times when you ask that question, everybody thinks about the big schools. And the big schools, they have enough athletes that they can play one sport and play another on top of each other. But there is so much more to it. We have to look at smaller schools, and I'm not even saying A and AA. I'm saying even our 4A schools, they need to have multiple athletes in order to make sure all sports work. And then beyond the athletes, facilities. How do you put one sport on top of each other? How do we have volleyball and basketball going at the same time when we're having games and practices at all levels? So you're talking sometimes at 6 teams in a gym plus games in order to get their season across. And then you also look at transportation. You're talking about buses. How do we send all these kids and all these teams playing at the same time? We don't know if we have enough transportation. So there's so much more to it than, hey, let's just play all sports. We have to look at the outside as well.
The NMAA is making an effort to help students financially during these tough times. What is the NMAA Foundation doing?
I'm so pleased that the foundation has come before the board of directors of the foundation has come, and they've increased. We usually give about $27,000 in scholarships every year. Well, this year they have increased it to about $45,000. And so I encourage all students, that play sports and are involved in activities or both, to apply for the foundation scholarships. You can go on our website, and it's right there under foundation, and there's a lot of scholarships. It's like for sports or combination or academics. And in all of these, because the same thing the colleges are doing, you do not have to have the ACT and SAT test in order to apply. So encourage all these seniors, hey, $45,000 we're ready to give out from the foundation, so apply for these scholarships.
Is the NMAA considering playing varsity sports only?
We had an athletic directors meeting, and that was a talk. I think there was an article out there that I said, is that something that we do? Right now, we're looking at all levels. Where the varsity only talk came in is when we would have to put sports on top of each other. I just explained about the gym use and having 6 teams. If we had to put sports on top of each other, we may forego middle schools or other sub-varsity games, but at this time, we are not even thinking that way. We are thinking that all kids need to be on the field, whether they're middle school, C team, JV, varsity, all kids need to be able to participate, and that's our goal at this time.
Will there be state championships for every sport that is able to start?
At this time, we're trying. I kind of smile a little bit at that because there's some sports it's easy to do. Cross country, one meet, hey, you have a state champion. And then some sports like volleyball and basketball, we can play a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday schedule to get a quarterfinal, semifinal, and final in. Our problem right now is football, because you can't play multiple football games in one week. So how do we get a culminating event for football with being able to only play on a Friday or Saturday and then the following week? So we are still working at that to see if we're going to be able to do state championships in all sports.
Why not just cancel fall and winter and focus only on the spring sports?
That's what's the goal. You know, we have, as athletes are, you put your goal out there, and how do you reach that goal? At this point, we have not been told no yet for fall sports. We haven't said, no, you can't play and you have to start April 1st. We're waiting for that go ahead still. So the goal is still to play all sports. And a lot of people say, well, why don't you cancel fall and winter and really concentrate on the spring? We are concentrating on the spring, but it is too early to cancel those fall and winter sports at this time.
Lastly, students are anxious, parents are frustrated. If you had a student athlete or a parent sitting right here one-on-one, what would you tell them?
That's tough. You know, that is tough because I was a parent of an athlete, and what do you tell the athletes and the parents? And what I've been sending in all this message is to be positive. But when parents and athletes get frustrated and it's like, you know, they're trying to figure out, are we going to play? I think that's the question. They just want to know, are we going to play? But just like you set a goal, and just like athletes set a goal in sports, you know, there can be some hills that you're going to have to climb and some bumps in the road. We have a big bump in the road right now. But that does not mean that we give up. Just like those athletes, they're trying to attain a goal, and if they have an injury, they're out of commission for a while. Right now, I kind of equate it to that. We're out of commission right now. But that doesn't stop for our goal. And our goal remains to play every single sport in the 2021 school year. So what I would tell every parent and every athlete, I know it's frustrating, but we cannot stop now. We have to keep the fight, we have to keep the faith, and we just have to keep going until we're told no. And when we're told no, or if we're told no, then we will readjust that goal. But right now, the goal is the same. Let's stay positive, let's stay on the course, and we're going to play sports again in New Mexico.